Have you ever heard of Operation Hide the Beer?
Operation Hide the Beer.
Yeah.
I don't know. It sounds like a creepy religious thing, but tell me.
Okay, borderline. That's how the New York Times is describing the message that came from the highest level of the Qatari government ahead of next week's World Cup. Yeah, pretty much. With the World Cup opening in 1 week, the Qatari organizers have been scrambling, if you will, in recent days to relocate Budweiser branded beer stations at 8 stadiums after sudden demand came from the highest top of the Qatari government about trying to get alcohol to the side here. The people spoke on the condition in anonymity because obviously it's a Qatari government, but World Cup officials appeared to have had the entire deal in place, and then last minute Qatar was like, "Let's hide the Budweiser." So, I mean, this is as clear as day of what these games are right now. But Benny, do you think we're going to see more of this over the next month?
Probably.
Yeah.
You know, like this is where capitalism meets baseline creepy religious morality. You know what I mean? And like where the old world meets the new. You know what first popped into my head when this happened was like, is this policy less for the tourists and more for the locals who have never had access? And like, are you literally dealing with like grown ass people who have never been drunk? You know, and like all of a sudden you're getting like a bunch of freshmen in college because they don't know how to handle their shit and they've never had it before. And this is the first time there's access. And it's like, holy shit, like this is what this stuff does to you. Like, I don't know. That's kind of like maybe a creepy, obtuse look at the whole thing. But it's like, so in the Patreon for Going Off Track, we have a member of the Patreon who is about to head out to Qatar for the World Cup and is going to be staying in those cubes in that cube village.
Yeah.
He sent us a link to it. It's just giant. Honestly, it looks to me like a massive sprawling festival backstage because that's what they give you at festivals to hang out in all day. Is those little boxes with a small air conditioning unit and then access to like outside toilets and stuff. And honestly, my first thought was like, yo, these things get out of fucking control by like the end of the night. You know what I mean? Like they're not comfortable places to be all day and all night. And like, like the high probability for issues with power, sewer, you know, people, like theft. I don't even know, but I'm like the dude's going into it with a very like, I don't fucking know what's going to happen kind of mentality. I'm like, good for you. Hit the adventure. You're going to come back with some good old fashioned visceral experience. But I'm like, it sounds sketch as fuck, like what you're going into. And even the fact that it's a 40-minute commute from these boxes to the stadium where all the games are. And I'm like, what does that look like?
Yeah.
You know, and what's going on there? So I mean, I've been listening to some stuff this week, you know, and I try to keep an open mind about the fact that like there is probably like a Eastern Western thing going on with like the reporting of this in a lot of ways where like we don't understand how these countries operate their culture. It's not ours. You know what I mean? And it is a different way to live. And it's not necessarily
right or wrong.
It's not ours. It's not theirs. And it's something totally foreign to us. So when you're seeing only, you know, Western media talking about this is a huge problem, this is a shit show, this is going to be this, some of it has to do with the fact that we just don't like totally get it. And, you know, maybe it's different when you're there. So I would like to at least consider the idea that I'm being obtuse, but it does seem like a real shit show. And from everything you hear about it getting built and the size of the country and being able to handle it, you know, I hope it goes well because I don't want anyone to get hurt, you know, but it seems ripe for failure.
Well, the beard thing I kind of understand because I'm no master of world religions, but I'm pretty sure that alcohol is like against like the Islamic faith and stuff like that. So that part I kind of get it. You know, if religion is that big a part of the government, but it's all the other stuff. It's the the workers from India, Ghana, and like another country that are just like
Bangladesh.
have been held there against their will, and have made these stadiums that they're going to tear down as soon as the whole thing is over and stuff like that. So and then you have the head of FIFA coming in and saying, when you go somewhere, like, you just like accept their culture and have like respect for it. But when that culture is kind of anti a lot of the things that your culture is for and you believe in as like a person, it creates a very slippery slope.
That's right. And that's where like I brought this up with, like, capitalism and morality, often are at odds, because of this exact thing. But you're right. And that's one of the cultural divides is like, most Americans will happily travel to Utah and drink, beer that's only 2 point something percent and something like that, just because this state, because of religious morality, decided that these are our politics and this is what you can drink here and stuff like that. So it is like funny sometimes, the things that you realize you allow your own country and yourself to get comfortable with, and then you're just really opposed to when other people do it.